Hey guys, Boomfish TCG here, back at it again with another video, and this time we're going to be taking a look at, this is BP18 Beast Combo. Now, we are very, very soon going to be coming up on Precon, and for what I believe, I don't think the Beast deck is going to change all that much, but this is an important option. It's been decently popular across the not like across the meta, but at least for the North American tournaments that have been happening, people do seem to be a fan of this. Personally, I think I've been considering it myself, especially when it comes to BSF Toronto, but I'm not sure. Like, initially I was considering it because it's definitely considered the more aggressive version, and considering that, going into Precon, aggression is generally rewarded. Especially if you're up against Spell Precon, the earlier the game ends is a better thing for you, because that deck can deal 23 damage, turn 7, pretty much out of nowhere. There's not a whole lot you can do to stop it. Saying that, it does not mean that this is the definitive combo variant. Simply, if you feel more comfortable with this, I'd say it's a perfectly fine option. I've just kind of gotten used to playing the pure one. I've become a fan, and I don't think I'm necessarily going to be changing that. But we're going to get into it because I think this deck has a lot of cool synergies, and I want to cover that. So, starting off with probably my favorite card of this deck, Baby Carbuncle. I mean, Combo Forest is always going to appreciate bounce. And this is basically just another copy of Nature's Guidance, but it's a beast follower. So if you have multiples of these after already playing something on the field, that means you can kind of draw your way out of a bad situation cheaply, and you don't have to lose a card because it's not a spell. So it's incredible. You don't need more than 2, because naturally you already have Nature's Guidance, you already have the Barrage card. But having access to more bounce is not a bad thing. So I love it. And you probably have some easy access to promos if you wanted that. And that's a cool part of it. So, yeah. Moving on, we have this card, which I would love to show you guys. So Blossoming Lunarian is wonderful because not only does it have an adorable little dragon on it, and I did not notice that, but its Evo effect is really cool, and as a 1-drop, I think this is so quality. Take a look at the top 3 and put a beast card from among them into your EX area. Now I'm going to jump over a little bit, right? Like, we're playing 3 of it base and 3 of it Evo because it's so cheap, and our deck benefits from that setup so heavily that there's no reason not to do this, folks. It's so nice. But Let's talk about Illusions of Comfort. Okay? So this is a festive. We don't care about that, but it's a beast card. That said beast card. Okay, what's the effect on this? If it's played from the EX, it costs 1 less. That card puts it in the EX area. Whoa. What else does it do? If you have Hazumi, we're not playing that. Select an enemy follower on the field, return it to its owner's hand, and you gain 1 life. So life gain in Beast has always been a little bit premium. If you can have access to it at all, you feel very happy. And especially with like combo in general, the aggro matchups you face off against can really kind of wear you down. So having this is just a nice plus. But considering what this deck is and how it's kind of a combo deck, the setup potential that you get off of an effect like this is crazy, because you get your blue tiger, you get your red panther. Both of these, very solid. Like, you want to see these cards. So having access to that is incredible. I already was talking about having access to good bounce. Well, boom, Shanmu. We want this because it's beast in general. We don't care that it's not anything super impactful. We want to see this card. And then we have access to Zeka. Interesting. We have Cheshire Cat. Interesting. because, yeah, it's a beast. Then we have Baby Carbuncle. So if you really take a step back and examine the list, that Lunarian, like this card, genuinely has access to an overwhelming majority of the deck. So you are not whiffing on this card. If you do, I'm sorry. But I love that. That's really cool. So shout out to this card. I'm super impressed by this. High quality. Absolutely. Also, fun fact, Cheshire Cat. This card is a problem in Crosscraft because of how ridiculous the secondary effect of it is. But if you put this in the EX of Cheshire Cat, if you push, or the Lunarian, and you push it out from EX area, since it didn't come from hand, it will not do 1 damage to any target, but 2. A 1-drop doing that is incredible, but a 1-drop doing 2 damage to the face? Oh, that's insane. This deck does suffer a little bit of not having your turn 1 play stick around. And if you don't have that, yes, it is quite painful. My condolences for you in that having happened at all to you. That sucks. But if your opponent doesn't know that and they just see a Cheshire Cat, they don't put the extra effort into clearing it, yeah, they could be in a lot of trouble. Simply just missing out on that turn 1 play, like the removal of your turn 1 play, is devastating sometimes for them. And it's very hard for them to realize how big of a problem that will create for them. So, incredible card. You need it. 3 makes sense. Sekka, take a look at the top 3. Grab a 2 or less force card from among them, put them in your hand, and then, cycle out. So you don't necessarily get a free card, but it helps you dig for bounce. And I will just continue to say that. That's so important. And technically, you have access to even more bounce that I was talking about with the Wildflower Tiger right here. So that brings your bounce numbers up from 8 to 11. In the flexibility that you can have access to in combo, having access to that number of bounce is staggering. And I think that's why a lot of people could feel quite comfortable with this, because the big problem with regular combo is getting stuck on certain board states. And this deck, this version, can add to the flexibility that you have. And that's very, very nice. Sekka gets you the whole deck, so what can you say? Shamu, incredible, especially with Manami. This card has felt so ridiculous. Your damage pushes are fantastic when you can have access to this card in conjunction with anything. Combo 5 is always going to happen. 3 copies is a no-brainer. Even though that turn 1 this card kind of sucks ass, you don't care because every other aspect of this card is incredible. So, yeah, awesome. Sukuna. This card originally in my heart when I was playing it in Puppets back in the day, I was like, yeah, this card's crazy. Set 9, this card's kind of cool. Set 10, I don't like this card. Now we're all the way back to set 18, and I'm back on the hype train, man. This card's incredible. Not only is Manami consistently providing you the option to get that damage in, but early damage also matters, especially against Spell Precon, and this is just one of the avenues to do it. You need storm damage. This is one of the things that does it. It's not a beast, but it wasn't a puppet back in the day, and it still helped you win games, so you need it. Don't be dumb. Airbound Barrage. It's a bronze. It's dumb. Yeah. Literally the only downside of this is it can't bounce a neutral, but if you look at this deck, let's see. 0. This can bounce your entire deck. There's nothing about it. Regular combo will play Fina and Alice. This deck does not play any of that. The card is always live. It's always incredible. It's at 3. Don't kid yourself. You have 11 bounce in this deck. That's insane. You also have 3 Nature's Guidance. Yep. I was already talking about bounce. This is bounce. When I say bounce, I mean returning a card from field to the hand. That is a card game terminology from a bunch of different stuff, like Magic the Gathering. I used it in Yu-Gi-Oh! But understanding quick terms like that can really help you fully understand the scope of your deck. And bounce is adding flexibility to combo, and that's what makes it really deadly. When you can't have that, the deck can become predictable, and that's not what you want. You want your opponent to be surprised by the amount of damage you can do, because that's the power of this deck. We only play the one Sekka spell, and I didn't really go over it, but we only play the one Sekka here. In a pinch, if you don't have anything to do on turn 4 and you're trying to preserve card advantage, banishing Sekka from the grave is a fine play to do. We are only going to do this once because turn 4 is the sweet spot. And a lot of decks that you're going up against, if they didn't really do anything too strong on that turn, making a 4-mana 5/5 that removes something on your opponent's side of the field is a strong play. That's not bad, and especially the deck thinning. You don't really care about cards in the graveyard. It's nice. You'd be surprised. Keeps your hand size healthy for Manami, and it makes it, if for some reason this sticks around, when you do your Manami turn, I mean the game could be over. You're dealing 6 damage along with all of the storm you push out. You have bounce, so you don't have to worry about the body already on the field. I mean, simple. It's really nice. Yeah. Moving on to the 2-drops. There's not that many. I kind of whizzed past this. But the deck is pretty straightforward, I feel. Without the covering the Beast synergy, which is literally Wildflower Tiger. This card, initially when it came out, I didn't understand the reasoning. But I understand this little lady. I don't know if it's a lady or a dude. Might be a dude, actually. But the abs on that armor are there for a reason. This tiger is carrying the deck. Bouncing a beast follower from field to the hand. And then you get to search your deck for the panther. That is very strong. Because, it could have done anything. But, searching the deck for something that has inherent synergy is really nice. It's a ward. We'll take it, but you didn't need it, right? It could have done anything, but the ward's really nice. And the reason why I want to stress how good this is for the deck is when you play your Manami turn, you need to visualize a little bit with me, okay? When you're starting up with 4 cards on the field, or not 4 cards, but 4 spaces, you start out your turn with something already on the field. It's a little bit restrictive. Usually that means you need a spell. Arista token's perfect for that. Bounce. You need something that isn't going to involve playing a follower. Because if you do, your Manami turn is going to get clogged. You're probably going to prevent yourself from playing your 5th card, and that feels bad, right? That you want that board buff. That's why the deck's strong. But if you have something that is a cheap beast follower that's stuck around, this is really nice. When you're playing Manami, you have the space to play a 2-drop. How it goes on turn 5 is you play 3-drop, you bring out the Anastasia, refresh 2. Now you have space to play a 2-drop, so you go from 2 to 0, 3rd card, refresh. Now you get to play 2 1-drops. Fill out the rest of what you're doing. Well, the real power of that card, you got your chip damage in, right? The thing you already had on the field did something. You bounce it, and then you can play Salvia Panthers for a reduced cost. They cost 1. Then you play 1, 2, board buff, swing, you're dealing 8 damage. That's ridiculous. And kicker is you didn't even need that. You didn't even need 2. You could just resolve the Wildflower Tiger, and that's it. And the kick, the last card you play per turn, right? You're playing this, it's going to get the buff. You play your Sukuna. You're going 2nd. Board buff happens. This turns into a 6/6 because you have played 5 cards during the turn. Combo 5. +3/+3. It gets +1/+1 from Anastasia. 6 damage. This gets +1/+1. An extra 4 damage. 10 on turn 5 is a number just fixes yourself a little bit more. The fact that it's all cohesive, it happens off of literally one card. This isn't the usual thing that you have to do with combo where you need 5 different cards, right? Or technically 4, because you're pulling the Anastasia from deck. This reduces that number and adds to flexibility. Instead of needing a card in your hand, you just need some garbage to stick around on the field. And because of that, that feels incredible. Playing the deck is going to feel better. And that is something that's really sweet about this list, so you get to appreciate that a lot. The play that I just explained to you is not only a lot of damage that's hitting, but the fact that this has ward is just like, yeah, I have a 6/6, a 4/3, a 3/5, and a 4/4 on the field. But on top of that, you need to deal with a 3/4 ward. And that sucks. Because if they have like some cheap Bane they're trying to hit you with, chances are they can't really match the efficiency that you just pumped out. And even if you didn't see all that synergy, right, with the Wildflower Tiger or the Salvia Panther, who cares? Regular combo plays like Shamu will carry you, and you'll feel incredible. This combo 5, deal 3, who's gonna complain? That's free. So, nice job here. We also have the bounce spell. I mean, I was already talking about it before, but in your Manami turns, as I mentioned, if you have something that's stuck around from the previous turn, and you're thinking to yourself, well, you said if I already have a body on field before Manami, I need a spell included into that. You're right. You also have the space to play a 2-cost card. This is a 2-cost spell, relatively unconditional. If your opponent played literally anything, you bounce it to hand, refresh, play, 1 second, Sukuna, boom. You have Shamu, 9 damage, fantastic. If you don't have the push, right, if you don't have that storm damage access, which is rare as hell in this version, you get to do a little bit more control. The Shamu's going to deal that damage, hit something out on the field, and you could do anything. But chances are you're going to get that extra damage in. You're going to feel incredible. So this is really sweet. I love this synergy. Very happy with how cute this is. So yeah, big fan of that. We have Manami Nita. Well, I mean, like, what is there to say? This card is dumb. Stupid, dumb, stupid. You could throw this in any forest deck and it'll work. Yeah, bring out Anastasia for 3 less. Makes your turn 5s ridiculous. You do want to see it. And the nicest part about this list compared to the regular combo list is you don't have things like Fina to send it to the bottom. Does that mean you're going to see Manami more often? I mean, I guess that technically means that, but you never really struggled with that in the first place. You can prioritize card draw if you're trying to fish for a Manami before you just send everything to the bottom, right? I think the rule of thumb personally is if I have an Alice in my hand versus Fina, I'm going to play the Alice first, get the card draw. In this list, considering we have not only a lot of deck thinning, just in general card draw, but we don't have that many check the top, and even if we hit something on the bottom, we have access to a consistent piece of shuffling the deck. So, really not the end of the world here, and it plays quite nice. Salvia Panther, I was talking about it before, but this is technically, it's a 3-mana 3/2, but most often it's going to be a 1-mana 3/2 storm. Incredible. Incredible. And if we need to evo it, it has a very nice effect. Returning a follower that costs 3 or less from field to their hand, that is not bad. And especially when we're thinking about we're trying to get ahead of our opponent, making them replay the same card, even if it is the best play, is really nice because that puts them behind on any form of their game plan. Although sometimes that effect might suck. Just because you're doing it for the turn, you get that extra bit of damage in. It's nice. And there's a reason why the Evo costs 2, because if it costed 1, this would literally be way too efficient of a card, because you'd be playing it for 1, Evo for 1. If you went second, you could Evo it for free, bounce, and then you're hitting them for 4 damage on base. So, like, yeah. this is really nice. You play 3 because you need it. I think I've seen this reduced to 2 in the past, if you're really trying to cut on engine, or like trying to cut the fat, I guess, but no, I think it feels way too nice these days, especially with the carbuncle, you being able to get into the EX with a Blossoming Lunarian, so that's already something that can add to the consistency. This deck, I think, must feel incredible to run at an event. We have Pierceye. So, I feel like Pierceye might be a little bit of a tough call. I think in the Beast deck, we are almost to the point where we can consistently get off the fanfare effect before we get to turn 4. The reason I say that is because we have access to a Blossoming Lunarian, a nice turn 1 play that we can Evo, going second especially, and Sakuna. In the regular combo list, this is the only 1-drop that Evos, so we're hedging it a little bit more. And if we're really trying to fish for an early turn play, especially if we went second, as I said before, you can play Blossoming Lunarian as a turn 1 Evo, and then turn 2, swing with it, play Baby Carbuncle, bounce it to hand, draw, and then we can replay the same Blossoming Lunarian, Evo it again. By turn 2, we've already Evoed twice. So that's incredible. But in the regular combo variant, I lean towards more enjoying Apollo. Because with combo in general, turn 4, as I mentioned before with Sekka, is a little bit of an issue. You kind of just run out of ideas because you don't want to push too hard into your board. You don't want to occupy too many spaces, because if you do, you're going to ruin your Minami turn. And that makes sometimes the deck feel a little bit awkward. I think this deck runs into that issue a lot less, but in that instance, when you're going first and you haven't had your Evo like lines, I almost think that Pierceye is a little bit worse than Apollo. But the real kicker for it is being able to search out one of the best cards in the deck. So I can't really complain. This is very central to the identity, and I think it's the correct choice. Anastasia, you play 2. If you play 3, you're brave. Play 2, and if you get unlucky, you still just drew an Anastasia, which isn't the worst thing in the world, considering your deck is, I don't know, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 times 3, 21. Plus 2, 1, 24 1-drops. I think you're fine if you draw Anastasia, so don't worry about that. You're good. I think a Beast combo is a great deck. I like what it's presenting. Having 11 copies of Balance in your deck adds to flexibility that your opponent is going to struggle to keep up with. I think I would rate this a 5 out of 5, so that's 5 Boomfish out of 5. Very impressed, and I am just so happy with this card. But in terms of what it can do for Precon, we will simply have to see. Is this the more aggressive version? I would say, yeah, it has the bones for that. It's just going to depend on people's preferences, I think. As in, like, how you can balance against the rest of the meta. But I can certainly say that the Beast version performed perfectly fine during BP18. So, yep, that's 5 Boomfish out of 5. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.
Congratulations.